Okay, we're finally back! Yay!
Hooray!
Thank you for joining us for episode 6 of Chatter Machine. I'm Kat.
And I'm Adam.
And we somehow still have that new relationship energy when it comes to pro wrestling. So, if you listened to our previous episode, you probably noticed that our energy levels were low, and then we had to skip last week partly because life shit, and partly because we both got taken down a week apart with what was probably the flu.
Probably.
We don't know exactly. We didn't get tested. We just laid low and did our thing and are mostly better now, thankfully. I was really annoyed because we live together and we're, married to each other. So why are we getting sick a whole week apart? Like, I thought, I came to think my immune system must be really robust, or like I'm fighting this off. I'm doing okay. Or I would have gotten it by now. And then like about a week after Adam got sick, I was just like, fuck.
Yep, down for the count.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm going to try to make sure that if I have gross mouth or head noises to make, I will allow them to be edited out. But
I'm going to try to add more in.
Ew! So we're both feeling mostly better, thankfully. I hope you are all staying healthy out there. Bit of housekeeping. We are recording this on Sunday morning, December 21st. We are also attending both Hammerstein shows. So we went to Dynamite on 34th Street last night, and a little later today we will be going to Christmas Collision. Just so you are absolutely assured, there will be zero spoilers on this show.
Yeah, we're going to have a blast. We had a blast, but we're not going to tell you about it till next week.
I realize that I take spoilers more seriously than like 99.9% of people. I think an example of this was almost 20 years ago when I was living with my ex and we were getting the New York Times delivered to our apartment. I was reading the New York Times Magazine, and there was a piece about the writing of The Sopranos. And this was like after The Sopranos was over, right? This wasn't like an active... Yeah. This was not like an active thing, but I'm reading this article, and my ex and I were watching through The Sopranos for the first time at this moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm reading it, and there's a huge spoiler like right in the text. And so I get out the Sharpie and I'm redacting it from both sides because even though I had to see it, I didn't want him to see it, because I don't want to ruin anybody's fun. So that's my feeling on spoilers, and I'm going to stay true to that today. Okay, so do not worry.
I'll hold you to it if we accidentally say anything.
That's right. So before we get to the previous week, actually, we're going to go back to some of the stuff we missed as well. I want to address some breaking news, which is that podcast favorite Chuck Taylor, our beloved Chuckie T, posted on Instagram that he had surgery on his cervical spine.
But what does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you. So first of all, if you haven't seen it yet, his post is fairly graphic. Like it starts out, if you're scrolling on Instagram, you're just going to see a neck scar immediately. So if that kind of thing makes you squeamish, just be aware. The couple of pictures at the end of his post are also fairly graphic, like earlier stages of the healing process. So what Chuckie had is a surgery called an ACDF, or an anterior cervical decompression and fusion. This is actually the same kind of surgery that Will Ospreay had earlier this year, although there were a couple of differences. Oh, just to say, I am not a spine surgeon. I am not a final authority on any of these measures, and I do not know either of these men or their surgical course or anything like that. So, obviously, grain of salt, okay?
But you have worked in a PACU and an OR, which is why
and a surgical
a
ICU. So I'm a nurse. I have about 10 years of experience in caring for people with this, who have had this type of surgery and other surgeries, including inside the OR where I'm handing the equipment to the doctor, and then aftercare. So I do know a little bit, okay? So he had an ACDF. It looks to me, so the difference with Chuckie and Will in terms of they both shared their x-rays after the surgery.
As you do.
This is what I'm saying.
It's
I'm
cool.
not an expert, but I can do a basic look at their x-rays, which they both shared on social media. Will has some extra metal between the vertebrae. It's like a piece of titanium that we call a cage, and that is like to further help stabilize the space between the vertebrae. So that implies that he had the disc, which is like, if you hear about a herniated disc, it's like the soft tissue between the vertebrae, and he had either the whole disc removed or like most of the disc removed, and that's why they put that cage in there. The cage is usually then filled in with like some kind of putty or paste that's made of bone. That's usually like bone that's donated from people who are deceased. And
that's
like,
so heavy metal.
It is. It's like the craziest thing. The bone chips and stuff. Okay. So, and usually what you do, especially if you have like a relatively healthy person who needs this kind of surgery, if they're taking out bits of bone during the surgery, they will take those bits and like kind of mill them up, like grind them up, usually with donor bone material. And then they'll kind of smear it all back in. And it helps, like that bone will reform. So it helps to like form a scaffolding so that it's like even more stabilizing during the healing process. So that was Will. On Chuckie's x-ray, I don't see any metal between the vertebrae. I just see like the plate and screws. They probably removed a bit of bone to like take some pressure off the spinal cord. And they probably, like, you can also do the thing with the bone paste or bone chips in that type of surgery. So he probably also has some donor bone in there to help the healing. Donor bone? Oh no. Are we still doing phrasing? I'm so mature. But so that's just to say that these surgeries are sometimes necessary because there's like a fracture or some acute traumatic process. But sometimes it's just because someone has arthritis. Like, you don't have to be a pro wrestler or somebody who does crazy stuff with your neck in order to have this kind of surgery. It's not that unusual. The last two pictures in his post were a little more graphic, as I said earlier, and people kind of had a lot of questions about them. The picture that shows his incision kind of stitched up with what looks like a plastic straw sticking out of it, that is called a Penrose drain, and it's just to help drain out any excess fluid that might collect, which anytime you do surgery, the body reacts and creates fluid. It's just part of the process. So that little drain would have been taken out before he went home. And then the last picture was like this huge bruise on the inside of his forearm. And people are like, did they mess up putting IVs in you? And actually, no. It looks like he had a line in his right radial artery, which is really normal for this type of surgery or any kind of surgery that could be like either a very big surgery or like a really sensitive surgery. And so anything with the spine is automatically like very sensitive. You need to keep a close eye on what's going on with the patient's body during and after the surgery. So often a line will be placed in the artery that helps monitor blood pressure and also provides a really easy, quick way to draw blood if you need to like get a lot of labs. So sometimes people have a line like that, and I think he did, but I don't know. And then sometimes if they need to draw blood from the artery, they stick you with needles like repeatedly. And arteries have a lot higher blood pressure than veins, so it's a lot easier to bruise.
They're gonna bruise up.
Yeah, if the person who's like doing the insertion or removal of the line doesn't hold pressure properly, or like sometimes shit just happens, you know? But like I've had to remove a lot of arterial lines from people, and you really have to stand there holding pressure for at least like 5 minutes, and you're just having really awkward chit chat with the person to make sure that they don't bruise or bleed afterwards. So that's probably all that was. It is pretty gnarly how much he bruised, but other than that, not too abnormal.
And if you're a pro wrestler or their friend, you got a camera, you're gonna be like, that's gnarly, take a picture.
I know, I love it. I kind of do love this tradition of like pro wrestlers just sharing their gnarly ass surgery photos. My favorite thing, actually, so there's one of the pictures is just like Chuckie sitting there in the PACU, and it's clearly, to me, it's obvious that it's a PACU because he's not in a real bed. He's like on a rolling stretcher, and like the sheets never fit the stretcher. Like most hospitals don't have like sheets that are meant to fit the stretchers. They just have like plain sheets. So we tie them up to the stretcher, but they always like slide down. So it's like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I know this.
Very
Like
familiar.
the sheet is like fully off behind him. But I see that like somebody brought him some nice food that's sitting there on his tray table. And I'm like, oh, that's love. Because a lot of the time you can't even have visitors in the recovery room in the PACU. So like, yeah, he probably got stuck there for a while after his surgery, and like somebody, probably the person who took the picture, probably somebody was showing him some love with some food from outside the hospital.
Now that picture of him with Walter, did they bring Walter into the PACU?
No, that's in his apartment. That picture with Walter is so fucking cute.
It's very cute.
I love it. Anyway, that's enough about Chuckie. I will just say, yeah, this kind of thing can happen to anybody, not just pro wrestlers. So we got to follow the directive of the Wu-Tang Clan and protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
Okay. Thank you. That concludes my surgical PSA.
And the Chuckie T update.
Yeah.
So should we talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we didn't get to talk about?
Yeah, I think we would be remiss not to mention a few of the special events from Winter is Coming, Dynamite and Collision.
Yeah, we got our inaugural Ingobernable.
Oh, our Ingobernable women's tag team champions.
Should I just do that again?
No, let's just keep it. It's funny.
They are Ingobernable. The Babes of Wrath.
Yay!
Yay!
Babes of Wrath.
Babes of Wrath. Which I remember not really knowing who was going to win that.
Yeah, I think we both felt like the Babes of Wrath would win.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
I mean, I remember kind of predicting that in the previous episode, and I think that was, obviously, in hindsight, it's the right call, but I think also, like, it was clearly the option with the most upside. As opposed to having Tony and Mina win it. Like, I think the excitement, a little bit of shock, and then people fucking love Willow and Harley.
People love them.
So like, it's just really exciting and fun.
Yeah. I really appreciated how supportive and celebratory everyone was following the final.
Yes, that was really touching. I'm glad they didn't make it some weird antagonistic thing, although I would be happy to see some antagonism develop over time.
Yeah.
It would have felt forced if they had done it right then.
If it was just, oh, you won, now we...
No, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Like weird heel turn. Yeah. Like, you could do that later, but don't do it now.
But it's nice now and then to just have, like, we're all proud of each other.
Yeah, and then...
Because it's almost rare to get that, so it's nice.
Yeah, it was really sweet, and I loved it. And it was clearly just like women supporting women. And then they had the celebratory toast on Collision. Now, I was told there would be champagne, and there was no champagne, but okay, fine. I guess it's a toast with nothing to toast with. What I was very much not expecting during the toast was Mercedes Moné showing up, being absolutely the ham of the hour, and then pantomiming being terrified of having her ass waxed.
That was very funny.
And Tony was like, "We're gonna wax your ass," and she just put her hand right over her butt crack with like this horrified look on her face, like, "You're not gonna wax my ass," and like, it was so funny. She's so funny. I love her so much.
She's great. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why they couldn't have the champagne, because she would have shown up faster if they.
Could be.
And here's where Mercedes challenged everyone in the ring to an 8-woman tag.
Right after everybody said, you don't have any friends.
And so we, the audience, are left with, well, who's going to be working with Mercedes?
Yeah.
And just generally after this, I also had a feeling, I love the friendly nature of this, but there's also a question, partly because of the way AEW books women, of where to from here, women's tag division.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is a lot going on right now, so we shall see.
We shall see. And then over in the C2 corner, a few big events happened. First of all, just Okada getting Jack Perry in a tombstone and Jack Perry biting his dick, which, like,
a highlight.
Yeah, extremely creative. I think most of us had the reaction of like, why doesn't this happen more often?
A lot of things
seems like the obvious thing to do if someone gets you in a tombstone and you don't want to be in the tombstone, to like bite him in the dick. And so I appreciate you, Jack Perry, for like just doing what we're all thinking.
Totally. And also, I think they pointed out this was just his first singles match in ages.
Right.
Because he's just been tagging since his return.
Right, we certainly haven't. I mean, we've seen maybe some older things, but we certainly in our time haven't seen anything like that. And then, oh my God, Speedball Mike Bailey was basically the star of the Winter is Coming shows, starting off with the match against Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite. I don't think I've popped so hard for anything in my life.
It was I was shocked. I just really didn't think they were going to do that.
Disclaimer, we had to watch Dynamite a little late. I had dinner with my family, and I don't drink much, but I drank a little bit. So I was like a little whatever. But we're watching a little later. I'm like half dressed. Speedball gets the pin. I leap up I leap up from the sofa. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I am dancing. I am losing my mind. Anyway, amazing match.
They really are telling a story of Speedball just being focused and determined and not giving up. With the way that match continued, the story they're telling with them.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Speedball versus Kevin Knight on Collision. I didn't realize, so we actually had to kind of go back and rewatch because Speedball, I mean, like, what can I say about this match? The storytelling here with Speedball using the Flamingo Driver on Kevin Knight as the finisher, I didn't realize that they had also set up the Flamingo Driver against Kyle Fletcher, and then either like they kind of decided not to use it or Kyle was countering out of it. I don't recall. But at the time when we rewatched, Excalibur was saying, oh, he never uses the Flamingo Driver. This is unusual in AEW. So like to have that storytelling where the person Speedball uses it against is Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
Was chef kiss. Yeah. So also their promo after this match, it helped me understand the C2 structure a little bit better. When they said, maybe we'll see each other again in the finals, I was thinking, wait, how? And then my little organic chemistry 101 brain came back and said, if the semifinal is trans, that means the final can be cis. Meaning like, yeah, it could be two people from the same league in the final as long as they are the ones who win the semifinals. Right? So, okay, I think it makes sense to me now. But yeah, those matches were incredible. Also, honorable mention in terms of C2 promos, Mox in the stairwell with the Death Riders, making Danny fully break in the background so that he has to hide his face was cracking me up. He's going, if you need circumstances to be ideal to try, maybe you just suck. And Danny just busts out laughing. And he's like trying to look tough and just like hiding his face. It was so cute. I love them. Yeah.
And also in the C2 corner, we got Castagnoli versus Takeshita, which was the first draw of the tournament and well-deserved. No big notes, just it was a great highlight, really impactful to be the first draw. I
think it was probably the best candidate as far as like what matches could possibly go to a draw too. I mean, they've been such powerhouses in this tournament and in general in the past like several months that I think going to a draw was perfect.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing really to address from Winter is Coming is the men's title situation. Eddie Kingston versus Samoa Joe for the men's world championship. I didn't really expect that Eddie would win this, but I do appreciate how much they made me bite. That's the beauty of what AEW does. Even when they have a really unlikely situation, they often make me second guess myself and go, wait, but he could win, and I would love to see Eddie get this title at some point for maybe a brief reign.
It could be fun. I will admit, and this is maybe my hot take for the day, I love Eddie and I love his promos. I'm just personally not that into his wrestling style. It's just not for me.
That's not really a hot take. I think a lot of people agree, and it's also just a matter of style and preference.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's a lot I don't know about, like all that kind of strong style King's Road stuff that obviously Eddie and Joe are both heavily influenced by. Yeah. And that kind of like brawly style is not really my thing either. Yeah. But it was fun to watch them against each other because you could tell that they were using moves that meant a lot to them and like they were pulling from those influences. So I always enjoy just like kind of having that shared with me as a viewer, even if it's not for me specifically.
Like I'm not mad that it happened or anything. I may find myself a little less engaged, but I agree. It's good to see.
Yeah, and Eddie's such a delight. That promo afterward where it's like, you don't lose, you just learn. You win or you learn. Yeah. Beautiful, man. I mean, that that could stand the test of time as like an all-time great promo.
Yeah.
And we had the tornado tag between, we had Hanger and Swerve versus Shibata and Hobbs, which was obviously crazy. It was a tornado tag, but it also had like an Anarchy in the Arena kind of vibe. You almost forgot that falls didn't count anywhere.
Yeah.
My note about this was I felt kind of bad for the bartender in the venue, because if you watch carefully, he is preparing for the moment of Hangman coming. He actually pours an entire beer and has it ready for him. And then I guess Hangman didn't see it, so he just was like, I need a beer, and like hops up on the bar, and the bartender has to open a can for him. But he had a whole beer already poured, and then he was like, oh.
I mean, I get it. There's a certain theatricality with a can.
There is, but I doubt Hangman even saw the beer there. He could have just like tossed it back. But anyway, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, the match was great, and the tension we got between Hanger and Swerve.
Oh my God.
I don't know what you call that tension, but we're going somewhere.
Tumblr went wild as they should. You know, Hangman and Swerve know exactly what they're doing too, which
I'm not even sure I'd call it tension so much. They also had collaboration in this match. They're working together, you know?
They are.
Feeling each other out.
I'm really enjoying this extremely AO3 coded situation that they're setting up between themselves. Thank you, boys. And on Collision, then we had Swerve versus Josh Alexander for a title shot.
Yeah, which I know Josh Alexander is good. I almost just laugh at the idea, though, just because, like, the nerve.
The nerve!
Now's not the time, Josh. That said, I do appreciate AEW being like, hey, maybe actually we should put some more people into conversation with the men's title scene. But now's not the time, Josh.
Stand down, Josh.
So I'm glad Swerve put him in his place for now.
Yeah, we'll see where all that goes. So Swerve winning the title shot here is setting us up for a three-way with Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? And I guess before we move on to what actually happened this most recent Dynamite and Collision, the last couple of things that happened the previous week, we had Jamie Hayter and Statlander versus the Sisters of Sin. Great to see the Sisters of Sin again. Want more tag action in the future, but this wasn't really a tag belt situation.
Yeah, this felt actually, the emphasis of this match felt less about tag teams and more about setting up a challenge for the women's world title.
Right.
And I think that's interesting in that involving the Sisters of Sin also therefore involves Tekla.
Yeah, it keeps her in that
conversation. So okay, I mean, I want to see more of women's tags and women's title action. I want to see both those kind of divisions get proper respect.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit on what we're doing here with this match, but it's fun. I'm cool with setting up this rivalry thing with Stat and Hayter for sure.
It's movement, certainly. And how many men's matches are also kind of like, but they move things forward a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so just more women, more time to develop these stories and characters.
100%.
Same conclusion. We have a lot.
And in conclusion, the TNT belt got defended.
It sure did.
Huzzah. Okay, moving on. By the way, we had a little audio issue over the past few minutes, so hopefully that's fixed now. Thanks for bearing with us. We got a little special treat this week.
We did. We got a little Tuesday stocking stuffer.
We did. I actually think this was our first full episode of AEW Dark.
Yeah, I know we've seen some matches in the past, but
it was fun to get that full experience. We really haven't gotten that before. Taz and Excalibur are so fun together, obviously, as the duo riffing. And also, the AEW roster is so freaking deep that we need more reps. AEW Dark is important, actually, and I think they really should bring it back.
Yeah, it's a really nice way to feature some folks who don't get a lot of attention at other times.
Yeah, get them practicing, get them working the crowd. It's good. We need more of that.
And it's a great way when they're traveling around to feature local wrestlers as well. And in this case, we got some great UK BritWres.
I loved the focus on the BritWres collaboration. There's so many wrestlers that I have only the most surface level familiarity with. And just to see a whole bunch of them all at once was really fun.
Yeah. And as much as some of this, 2 out of 3 might have just been on Ring of Honor normally, the fact that this is also something anyone could watch on YouTube, I think that's really important.
Yeah. I don't know why
I
they
think
stopped, honestly, because
yeah.
it feels like it's good publicity.
Yeah, and Ring of Honor discussion, we can have that another time. But
well, you just say that because 2 of the matches involve the Death Riders, right? And the Death Riders are kind of all Ring of Honor fixtures.
Yeah, at this point, and also because these kinds of matches where maybe a local wrestler from wherever is brought in to, is what they do a lot in Ring of Honor, and because this is recorded how they record Ring of Honor as
right.
The Ring of Honor, to the extent that Ring of Honor has kind of become what AEW Dark was. It
sort
kind of is in how it's filmed and how it's booked a little bit, except it's booked in the tradition of what Ring of Honor was, and it's made available behind a paywall. So that difference is pretty big.
I mean, I think just touching a little bit also on the past week's Honor Club, which was Global Wars, also with a BritWres focus. They were very similar events, AEW Dark and Ring of Honor Global Wars. I think they should absolutely do this. If you go to another country, or even if you're just traveling to an area that has a especially robust local wrestling scene, do it. Make it a special feature. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. And making sure that some of these things are freely watchable is such a good idea.
It's good faith. It's a good way to engage with new fans. I don't understand why they ever got rid of it in the first place.
Yeah, and so we just got 3 matches, but they were fun, and some highlights for me. We saw Marina Shafir against Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn is great. She's been on Ring of Honor a few times recently. She's been working with grizzled young veterans. We also got one match that probably wouldn't be on a normal Ring of Honor, because we got Conglomeration, which we got Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Mascara Dorada against Kid Lycos 2, and Mark Andrews. I remember in this match having a little feeling of like having 2 wrestlers 1 and 2 made me think of like Chikara stuff we've seen. Just
a little bit.
Like Ice Cream's 1 and 2.
And
yeah, something
El
like that.
De Ice Cream.
I don't know enough about these wrestlers to say that's really the case. It's just my feeling. But I think Orange Cassidy in the mix also colored that for me. But notable here for me was the teamwork between Cassidy and Strong.
Roddy's glomming.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what story we're telling with Roddy. He wants to do it himself, but he seems to do better when he's working with others.
That's right.
And Dorada, we're seeing more of him with Conglomeration folks.
Yep.
And I think he's just conglomerating, because anyone can if they want.
You can conglomerate if you want
That's what you've been saying.
Yeah. Love it. And then we had some of the same vibes over on Honor Club Global Wars. I particularly enjoyed seeing Session Moth Martina, which I know she used to be on Ring of Honor, and then she hasn't been on for 5 years or something. We've seen her before. I'm not exactly sure what promotion. Maybe Eve?
Maybe, yeah.
We probably just saw her on YouTube
up some
or
stuff,
something. But so fun. And I love the term Session Moth.
Yeah, I remember Googling that more than I remember what we saw her in, but
yeah,
it's great.
And also, similarly, Leo Rush, I know he's been around, certainly in AEW and Ring of Honor, but not since we've started watching. And it was really fun. Like, he moves funny. I really enjoy watching the way he moves.
Yeah, he's got a unique way of doing it.
Yeah. Very compelling. Michael Oku, always super happy to see, especially against Rocky Romero being a little shit. Very fun.
Yeah.
Winza and Nina Samuels, love that.
Nina Samuels really struck me with her heel energy. Just a unique charisma. I'd love to see more of her.
Absolutely. And then the other obviously the kind of star of the show there was Yuta having an open challenge. Being answered by none other than Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah, I sort of wondered what was going on, because Yuta opened with this promo and he's just doing this heel stuff and then like weirdly claiming to be the greatest pure champion, which I'm like, is that really something you hold in your pocket? But
and then
it all made sense.
Nigel comes out, you're like, oh,
yeah, it all made sense.
He's here to defend the honor of Bryan Danielson of all people. I love it.
Yeah,
love it. Such a pleasure. That like if you're not an Honor Club, do it.
Yeah, this whole thing was great.
That was beautiful.
So let's get going with the Holiday Bash from this week.
Yay!
Dynamite and Collision from Manchester.
Yes.
We had 3 whole hours.
3 whole hours, plus then the 4th hour,
plus second hour.
Second hour of Collision, which aired yesterday, Saturday.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we had I was a little confused about the stream maybe, because we had a cold open.
Yes, they went right into it with Roddy and Mox already in the ring. Like they're jobbers. I mean, it was good energy.
Yeah.
they explained that Roddy has to win this one, or, well, they were saying like he's eliminated from the C2, and I was kind of like, I thought it was a round robin. What does that mean?
Yeah,
but I guess that just meant he wouldn't have the capability to make the semifinals.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh no, he's going to get kicked out.
I mean, I guess this is the nature of sports tournaments, but like part of me is like, oh, well, if he can't win, why does he have to keep fighting?
Well, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Having been a fan of many teams getting eliminated from playoff contention. Unfortunately, the regular season goes on until it's over. And then you just have to suffer. So this was Marina Shafir's real husband versus her work husband. But of course, she couldn't come and do anything because of the C2 rules.
Yep.
I was a bit devastated that Roddy lost. I was hoping he would kind of get to avenge Kyle a little bit in this match.
That would have felt nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're doing something with Roddy here.
They are. They're telling a story.
Yeah.
They are.
Including with the wrestling itself. A lot of good moments in this match. I like grumpy, serious Roddy.
Mm-hmm. And then following this match, we got Eddie Kingston cutting a promo, issuing an open challenge. Who wants to step up for Collision? And I'm thinking, baby, are you still angling for the title?
Yeah.
But then we got to see that later. That match aired on the final hour of Collision on Saturday, and it was in continuing this like BritWres collaboration week. It was Nathan Cruz who answered the open challenge.
And we had seen on the Stocking Stuffer, he teamed with Grizzled Young Veterans against Death Riders. But I was confused here because Grizzled Young Veterans are coming out and they're beating up Eddie Kingston.
Right.
I'm like, why are they here?
What did Eddie Kingston do to you?
I'm missing something. Maybe there's history or lore that I don't know.
Maybe there's more to this than we know about, but we were kind of like, why are they beating on Eddie?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like, is he just building to some feud, or is he going to tag with someone against them? What's going on?
Who knows? So that was fun, and then we got the much anticipated trios match of Takeshita, Okada, and Hechicero versus the Elite.
Mm-hmm, the Elite
reunited,
are back together.
And it feels so good.
It does. Poor Hechicero.
Hechicero, like, he should not agree to be the third for these two guys ever again, but I do love the dynamic where he tries desperately to get Okada and Takeshita to stop their bickering.
It's lovely.
And focus, because
he just wants a win.
He just wants a win so bad. And instead he's getting a one-winged angel done on him.
Yeah,
which
and
is
taking
like,
the pin.
which was like, holy shit. The whole time I'm like, Kenny's not gonna.
Yeah,
he's not gonna do that,
a big
right?
dude.
And then like he barely managed to do it, which is like, I'm sorry, it's not it's a little hard to watch, but love to see Kenny back.
Yeah.
The other thing I noted about this that was so funny was that Don Callis on commentary made the assertion that he would have had Kenny kick right out of that diverticulitis, which like, is that like the walk it off of the wrestling world?
About?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell someone to kick out of cancer or whatever.
Yeah. And the theme of whatever's building with Takeshita and Okada, it's just a joy. I'm glad they're taking their time with it. My favorite moment from this match was when Takeshita and Okada looked like they were setting up to like suplex someone together. I'm not sure what exactly, but they couldn't coordinate, and Takeshita shoved Okada aside and pulled in and did it with Hechicero.
Yeah.
And then like
they did like a little high five and then executed the move beautifully.
And you get this little camera zoom in on Okada just standing there
looking like, oh,
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Very funny.
It's fun.
Very, very funny. Following that, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's get into this men's title scene. Contract signing. As I said before, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
There was some, semi-interesting promo cutting among like Swerve, Hanger, and Samoa Joe. Everybody got to say their piece and talk about how they felt about each other.
Yeah, and this part, before we get to the next bit, I liked it pretty well. I mean, Swerve is they're vocally saying that they respect each other. They have a mutual hatred of Samoa Joe. This is correct, guys.
Right?
Like, right then, if it's like, yes, this is what we're looking for. And I really liked Swerve highlighting that, reminding us all that he beat Joe before for this very championship.
He'll do it again.
He'll do it again.
I also think Hangman saying to Joe that he's worse than the Death Riders ever were was very interesting.
It is interesting.
I don't really disagree with that, but it's in the sense that he's talking about from a vibes perspective.
Yes.
If it's even possible to have a worse vibe than the Death Riders had before Mox dropped the title, it's like, yeah, maybe they were kind of being miserable, and you could even say that as a dojo, they kind of dabbled in sort of a fascist aesthetic of like we're dark and we're taking over. Like, whatever you say about that. But then you have this fucking ops, like, nasty incel nonsense.
Dojo,
and, like, in a way, that is worse, actually, than the sort of, like, we are very disciplined and we're mean thing that the Death Riders were doing.
And, I mean, getting into the lore of the Death Riders and their work over the past as heels, they may have adopted some of that aesthetic, but they were not openly, they wouldn't call the crowd fat. They're not like doing misogyny. Like, and Joe's had a couple of promos that are iffy. So,
yeah, exactly. The Death Riders like didn't really cross those lines.
Yeah.
Now, before we really get into crossing these lines, I felt, okay, so we knew we were going to have the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royale this episode. And so you're thinking, okay, well, obviously MJF is going to show up at some point during this episode.
Yeah.
I actually thought as soon as the third signature went on the contract, I'm thinking, where is he? You know, just based on like the timing of how they were doing things in the episode, I immediately was like, oh no, forget the Battle Royale. He's going to come out now. And then the lights go out. Da-na-na, 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 you know, okay. So I think we have personally, Adam and I have personally hashed this out, and we've both hashed this out all over Blue Sky for the past several days. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this. I think we need to maybe set a timer.
Let's set a timer. 3 minutes?
Yes, it'll be the Dynamite Diamond Egg timer. Okay, 3 minutes. Just to talk about this situation with MJF, the promo he cut, how we feel about it.
Yeah.
We could go on for a very long time, but I don't think...
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I'm sure these are all themes we will revisit in the future, too, if we don't get it all off our chests right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, go. So, first of all, if a heel cuts a promo in the forest, and the forest critters cheer instead of boo, and then the heel leads the critters in a call and response, is the heel really a heel? Deep thoughts, right?
Yeah, the thing with MJF, for me, he's always rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, because his gimmick is basically that he's an insecure bully and a shithead, which is what you're going to get sometimes. And I acknowledge that someone who does being a bully really well is, and rubs me the wrong way, is doing the work of being a heel. But the problem here is he's presented coming back from a break with a lot of cheers and fanfare, with a booking that, we'll get to it, I'm sure, but basically didn't allow anyone to respond to him. The crowd is cheering for him. He is egging that on. He is engaging them in call and response. He's acting like a face. And after the fact, we even saw some people say that they thought, oh, he's turning face. Is he?
Like, I don't know how you could watch that promo and think that was the vibe was kind of face-ish because of what you just said. But he's comparing Swerve to a sex predator in a racially dubious way. Swerve of all people on this, like... Exactly. You're going to take the one black man in the area and compare him to to a sex predator who just happens to be a black man? Like, get the fuck out of here.
He's not even notably like rapper. He does music, but like you could any black musician you could have compared him to if you wanted to dig on his music.
It was fucking disgusting.
It's gross.
And so even without the racial undertones of this, which I don't want to discount that because it is important. Even without that, I don't want to have rapists invoked as a joke on the entertainment I choose to listen to. This is a choice I make in how I interact with entertainment. I don't want that. MJF has a record of doing straight up misogyny in his promos and doing shit like this, and I am over it. I don't want to listen to it. It makes me personally feel unsafe, unvalued as an audience member, and it's not cute or funny to me.
And there are people who defend this as, oh, he's just doing heel work. And I get that there are heels that it's fun. Like, there are heels that I love, and it's difficult not to cheer for. But this was just over a line, and it's like, it's disingenuous to just be like, oh, he's just generating heat. Like, there's heat you don't want.
Exactly.
There's food that's too spicy. There's food that's spiced badly. There's, it's like, you don't want to go into the restaurant and just be served something super hot just for the sake of it.
Well,
you're too weak. You can't handle the heat.
Okay, so that was 3 minutes. 3 minutes is actually way shorter than I thought it was. I do like that analogy. Sorry, we're going to continue this a little bit.
A little bit.
I do really like that analogy. When I go to a place that is known for hot wings, and
Yeah.
I love hot wings, okay? I think I could hold my own pretty well on an episode of Hot Ones.
Yeah.
I love hot food. I love hot wings. If I go to a place that's known for hot wings, I have to ask the question, are these going to be hot wings or are these going to be frat boy hazing wings?
Right.
By which I mean wings that actually don't taste good to anybody, but they're like hot for the sake of being hot and like doing it as a dare or like saying you did it.
Right.
And that's what that edgy for the sake of edgy feels like to me.
Yeah.
Like, who is enjoying this?
It's more just about positioning and signaling. It's like, oh,
it is.
If you can handle this, you're a healthy adult human. If you can't, you're weak and you're a wimp. And like,
yeah. And let me just say, so I felt this whole thing was kind of an unholy trinity.
mm-hmm.
You have MJF himself cutting this promo. Okay, I don't like it. That's fine. I would have cared so much less if he was cutting this promo and you didn't have 10,000 people in Manchester cheering him.
Mm-hmm.
That made me feel really unsettled. Didn't feel good,
mm-hmm.
especially when he did Whose House and they all yelled Diddy's house. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
You're not supposed to do that. This is supposed to be a nasty heel promo. You can't be cheering like that.
Yeah.
And have it and then tell me, oh, he's just a heel, get over it.
Yeah.
If he's just a heel, get over it, why are you cheering him?
Right. Boo him.
So I think the crowd and then the internet crowd response to this was like actually the majority component of the problem I had with this whole thing.
Yeah.
The third component is the booking.
Yeah.
The way somebody said, the producers, whoever, decided Max is going to come in, he's going to cut this long ass offensive promo, and none of the other three men in the ring, none of the three men in the ring are going to get a word in edgewise.
Right.
He's going to get this big return. He's going to cut a big, long, nasty promo, and then he's going to get to mic drop and walk away.
Yep.
And I question the premise behind that decision.
Yeah. It's just, and then it doesn't feel good to go complain and have a bunch of people try to explain why you're supposed to be okay with it. Like, this thing reduced my joy. If it didn't reduce your joy, well, I have a thought about that. But also, like, you can just not say anything.
Correct.
Like, are you so weak that you can't handle a little critique of your art form?
Exactly.
Let people critique it.
And let people have feelings.
Yeah.
It's okay. Even if you think they're stupid for their opinion or they're being worked or whatever, like, don't come into people's replies and troll them. I find that particularly egregious. I don't care for that behavior.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of glee on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'm not assuming everybody. It was mostly men.
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
Making fun of mostly women
mm-hmm.
who were like the small percentage of people who didn't like the promo were mostly women.
Mm-hmm.
And like, listen, if your impulse is to attack women mostly
mm-hmm.
who did not like that promo, check your fly.
Check your fly.
Check your fly.
It's
an opportunity to just say, wait, should I say anything right now?
Right.
Like, I'm happy you're happy. Wrestling is different for everybody, but like, let people have their feelings.
Yeah, and it's so stupid because half the defenses are like, oh, you're getting worked. And it's like, yeah, we know. Yeah. And you're just trying to have your cake and eat it too. Like, yeah. Exactly. Correct. If you just quietly think to yourself, oh, it's working, they're getting worked. Okay, correct. Good. Then you don't have to
Stop trying to police people's feelings.
Let us be worked.
Yeah.
Loudly.
And let me be clear. There's a lack of media literacy and a lack of critical thinking in the world in general right now. But I saw a lot of stuff that was like, that wasn't misogynist, that wasn't racist, or like regarding kind of the meta arguments afterward. Like, nobody's telling women to shut up.
Yeah.
Right? Let me be clear. If anybody's using the word hysterical in a dismissive fashion, that is telling women to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other interpretation of that word if you're talking about it in a dismissive way. If I say something's hysterical because it's funny, great. But if you're saying like, oh, the response to this has been hysterical, that is telling women to shut up. And if you haven't stopped to think about that, and you're listening to this right now, which I sincerely doubt, but if you are listening to this and you haven't stopped to think about that, please just take a moment to self-reflect, think about it, and then maybe take a moment before you respond to something like this next time. Okay?
Yeah.
Deal.
And I have one wider thing to say about this, which is kind of a lesson I learned for myself. which has to do with how I'm engaging with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
For the first several months that our love for this was really growing, we came into this through some people from WWE who were on Dimension 20, and that was just like a joyful experience. It was pointing at like, hey, through this door there might be more joy.
Yeah.
So we went through the door and we've been having more joy. And during the early months, I wasn't looking at like social media and Reddit and stuff. I was just watching the shows. So I will say there's a part of this for me that's like, okay, maybe lately I am also exposing myself to a world full of like people who will jump at any chance to be a bully for you.
Yeah.
And I can police my own interaction with that a little bit, or maybe police is the wrong word. I can manage my own own boundaries there a little bit, and pull back a little bit. And part of that is like, okay, I don't necessarily need to watch live reaction on Blue Sky while I'm watching the wrestling. My life might be a little better. And part of that is also like acknowledging that Blue Sky is not just a fun, friendly place, as it's better than other places, but like it is as much as anywhere else, like being in the high school cafeteria. You're at a table with your friends, but there's a bunch of people out there who are going to hear your conversation. And if they want to fuck with you, they'll come over and do that. And thankfully, I have the ability to mute and block people, and I will do that because I'm not here to have a reasoned conversation with the bully next door. I'm not here for that.
I admit I got really hot, and I'm talking physically. I'm feeling my heart racing. I'm feeling a lot of adrenaline in my body during the whole fallout after this promo, and that makes me feel really like sad and kind of embarrassed. And I realize it's because in a way I had been considering Blue Sky to be kind of a safe space. And I'm realizing like, oh, that was dumb. And I felt very much like it brought me back like many, many years to feeling like, once again, I'm like a teenage feminist surrounded by jeering boys in high school. And I'm like, I'm 42 years old. I can actually opt out of that type of interaction now. I couldn't not go to high school, but I can opt out of this shit. So I'm going to try to do better myself in how I like manage my own interaction with people. And maybe that means not, like you said, maybe that means not live reacting to stuff on the internet, or maybe it just means like very carefully curating a feed. Whatever. Anyway, so our egg timer is very expired. Our eggs are way overdone, but thank you for bearing with us.
Thank you for bearing with us. Should we move on to something very positive?
Yes.
If we are okay to move on from the men's title scene.
I'm definitely ready to move on from the men's title scene right now.
Well, we had a lovely, mutually supportive promo.
We did.
Of our friends Jet and Speed.
Jet and Speed. I love them. I love this whole thing where, they're in the C2, they're in the same league, so they're very competitive with each other, but it feels very healthy and mutually loving. That's really fun.
Which I will say is not to say that I am sitting here being like, all wrestling should just be friends fighting. Like, no, I love my heels. Anyway, but
the C2 is fun that it kind of shakes up that dynamic a little bit, and you can have this sort of like mutual respect battles. And they're doing this very well. Like, they didn't even need to have to do a promo where they're supporting each other, but they got to do one, and they did one, and I loved it. And then following that, we had the 8-women tag, which thankfully we went back and rewatched, because at the time I was still like really incensed by the MJF promo. And then I got really mad because we had to watch this on HBO Max because of Triller's nonsense, which I'm so sorry for the UK people and everybody else who couldn't actually watch it live. But I was just so mad that they let MJF go on with this long, horrible promo. And then as soon as the women get in the ring, it's time for a commercial break.
So stupid.
Like, fuck that. Anyway, but so we went back and rewatched. And I have, in the recent past, I've been kind of meh on all these like giant matches that throw all the women together. I feel like, generally speaking, I don't think it's the best way to book women. But on rewatch, I do think everyone in this match really got their licks in, and everybody looked really good and kind of got to show off their stuff in a very satisfying way. As a setup for Mercedes and Athena then challenging for the tag titles, I think it was pretty cool. I don't mind how they won. Like, I don't mind at all that like Willow got pinned, whatever. I think that we got to see the power when Mercedes and Athena decide to cooperate. And they just had this like quick, shocking little finish because they split second decided to really work together. And I think that's cool storytelling.
it really makes them seem powerful if they can get it together. And that's that's the one line of their story.
I'm not exactly sure why these two get the first shot at the tag title because they were eliminated in the first round.
Right. It is a little
weird. And then they
weird.
haven't been together since then. But I think it's so that Harley and Willow will look really good when they beat them to defend the title.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple people being like, I can't believe they're going to set up for Willow and Harley to lose this title so quick. And I'm like, are we watching the same show? What are you talking about?
How do people feel so sure about something like that?
Like it actually, excuse me. It actually makes the most sense for them to go up against Mercedes and Athena because then it's not like doing damage to the other actual tag teams in the tag division because Mercedes and Athena are not a tag team.
Yeah.
They are not.
And it really works for that story of like, they're going to look so powerful when they do get it together because they are both very good wrestlers. It's just, can they cooperate? And we saw some of that in this match of like being upset with each other.
Yeah,
it's like
I also like that the kind of the other effect of this is that it's going to build the rivalry between Mercedes and Athena.
Yeah,
that could like lead to more title challenges and stuff on a singles level. So I love it.
Yeah, no, I think they're just going to win and be a very, very well coordinated tag team going forward. So.
Yeah, and forget all their other titles. They're just going to be a tag team now. If we sound a little different in this moment, it's because we got interrupted in the middle of recording and then we had to go out the door for Christmas Collision at the Hammerstein. So now we have seen everything and we will still not tell you about any of it.
We shall remain spoiler free.
We are spoiler free for life. I can't wait to share. That's even a spoil. Like, is it a spoiler that I enjoyed myself this weekend?
It was a good show.
All the shows were good.
All the shows were good. We can't wait to talk about them on our podcast.
Exactly. Right. So, Pac versus Fletcher.
What a match. The Continental Classic continues to deliver.
Hell yeah. I think this was probably my match of the night. I don't have a ton of like specific things to say about the actual match, but it just felt really beautiful, well executed. I love watching these guys. I could watch both of them all day.
Yeah, like you said another time, the pacing of it was really good, and I think you took note of his outfit when he came out.
Kyle Fletcher's outfit was like especially. It was a little special for this occasion, and it felt like kind of the nudie suit version of his outfit, and I would think he would save that for Nashville, but Manchester, okay, yes.
Very fringy and chaps, and
it was fun. It had chaps and sequins and fringe, and it was like, bro, if you had this in Nashville and you saved it for Manchester, I don't know what to tell you, but very fun. And then Pac coming out and just getting a ton of love from the audience was really precious, and I don't know how much he anticipated that. Truly, shoot anticipated it. I can't imagine he thought they were gonna boo him.
I can't imagine.
He's their bastard.
Yeah.
He's their bastard. He's their Northern English bastard.
He certainly acted a little like surprised.
He did. It was very cute, and I love that Kyle.
Went and sat in the corner for a second to like
let him bask in the glory.
Yeah, it's funny.
I wish I could trade their bastard for my scumbag.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I don't claim him.
Same. But yeah, it was a really good, well-paced match. I like when I don't need it all the time again, but I really like it when matches have a lot of like demonstration that the wrestlers are familiar with each other's moves, even if it's like kayfabe scripted, but like, getting out of each other, countering each other's finishers and kicking out and like.
Right. And these guys, I don't know when they've wrestled each other before.
Right.
When would they have had that opportunity? Perhaps they have some celebrated matches in the past that I just don't know about.
Well, they don't show us all the time when the wrestler is standing in the back watching the TV, stroking their chin. But when they do show us, we should assume they're all doing that. So.
Right. They're all studying each other all the time. Right. So yeah, loved that match. And then that brought us to the main event of the Dynamite slot, which was the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale, which I think it started really abruptly and it also ended quite abruptly.
It did.
Probably because they wanted to keep it within the Dynamite slot and not have it spill out into Collision. So like the pacing of this event overall was maybe not the greatest.
A little choppy at times, yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It was very chaotic.
It was. I mean, and I think partly just because I really like the silly storyline with Bowens and Caster.
God.
We got some great moments with them.
Well, they they did Scissor Me Timbers.
They fully did Scissor Me Timbers.
But they didn't get to actually scissor each other.
Correct.
Because of that bastard Ricochet.
Bastard Ricochet ruined it. What heel behavior.
Perfect heel behavior. Thank you, Ricochet. Yeah, other notable moments were Brody King sacrificing himself for Bandito, and Bandito's like, no!
Yeah. I think we had a hot second also when Josh Alexander came in and he sort of like cleaned the ring and we're like, oh no, don't let him have the title shot. It's not time yet. It's not time, Josh. But Bandito threw him out and we were like, yeah.
Thank God. Yeah, like, can we think of like, all right, we're already adding MJF to this chaotic men's title scene. Do I really want Josh Alexander to suddenly also be thrust into the men's title scene? No, I do not. Thank you. Sorry, Josh. I'm sure you're great. But not yet. And yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about that, but
nope, just how thrilled I was that it came down to Bandito and Ricochet.
Delight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm so excited to see both of them. Just know that match is going to be a killer. What am I saying? I've already seen the match. Okay, I won't speak about the match. You can imagine Bandito and Ricochet are two incredible wrestlers. They are so much fun to watch separately. Mm-hmm. And you can imagine how fun they might be to watch together. What I will say is my kind of prediction about this whole Dynamite Diamond Ring situation. You know, I was thinking, well, how come MJF's not involved in this? Mm-hmm. It seems very odd. And I personally, you know, coming into the Hammerstein shows, just had a prediction that he is somehow going to insert himself into this situation with Bandito and Ricochet and maybe try to like weasel his way to keeping his precious ring, even getting another title shot locked away.
Yeah, I mean, it writes itself.
It really does.
And everyone will have to wait to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't read anything into my tone of voice even. Like, I know whether or not anything like that happens, and we'll leave it at that. But that was my prediction kind of coming out of this event. Like, oh shit, what's he gonna do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then that rounded out Dynamite, and we moved to Collision, where we start with a promo from Jon Moxley that very much read as a babyface promo.
Speaking of the confusing nature of heels and faces,
Absolutely.
This was a babyface promo from Jon Moxley.
I mean, he's just like, I like it's a chance to prove myself. You know, he's not slagging on others. He's not.
I love him.
It's yeah, and it struck me. You know, I just want to say I love one of the things I love about the C2 as a first time watcher, and I don't fully know if this is something they've done every year, but I really love the C2 wrestler promos that they're putting up on YouTube. Like the storytelling going on with all of these matches and everyone involved. Just a special shout out to AEW for doing that. It's great work. But this promo from Jon Moxley just had me thinking a little bit. Kind of feel like Orange Cassidy in the C2 is doing a better Mox than Mox.
Yeah, you said that.
Mox will spend a whole minute waxing poetic about the Continental Classic. And like what he's trying to say is just, you show up, you do your best. I love that. Cut to Orange Cassidy promo. I showed up. 3 points is 3 points.
Right.
And he walks away.
Right. It is sort of Mox-esque in a way.
Yeah. There's similar vibes there. And speaking of Orange.
Well, actually, just want to take a moment. We were talking about the potential for babyface Mox. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, we were talking on the train on the way in this afternoon. I thought, you know, he's got these like couple finishing moves like the Death Rider, hence the Death Riders.
Yeah.
What if he starts to lead a little face faction at some point? What if they're called the Paradigm Shift?
Perfect.
I like it.
It's beautiful. Book it.
Tony, call me. But yeah, OC and Mascara Dorada were the final C2 match of this 3-hour event. Mm-hmm. My beloveds. I love them both so much.
Both these guys.
That was like the ultimate both these guys.
Yeah.
And in fact, you were saying, and we were kind of both saying, it felt a little bit like, cultural differences obviously aside, it felt a little bit like Orange Cassidy was wrestling a younger version of himself.
Yeah, something about Dorada's energy, especially in this match, was just giving me sort of like classic Fire Ant.
A little bit of Fire Ant. Fire Ant gives energetic lucha guy vibes,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, so I understand. Yeah,
it's all a shared vibe, but it felt very sweet.
It
felt like a
very little circle kind of a thing.
Yeah, it felt like a very sweet kind of a handoff sort of match.
Yeah.
Although, of course, I thought OC was going to put him over and lose, and then he actually won it. But I'm always happy to see OC win. He hasn't had too many wins since he came back from his injury. So my only complaint about this match is that I think it went about 15 minutes. I wish it had gone a little bit longer.
Yeah.
They were so fun.
Yeah.
And I love the very sweet, after OC won, he tossed him his sunglasses.
That was great. Yeah.
Really
and so
lovely.
Dorada being like, guess I'll try to put them on. Oh, it doesn't really work with my mask.
And my ears are covered, yeah.
Okay.
But it was very sweet. I really enjoyed this match. They can both go,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it was really grappy too, like a lot more time spent on the mat than I would have expected.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
Yeah. I mean, it had such great breadth. Like there was a moment where OC, Dorado was swinging him around almost like Claudio, but positioned differently. And just because it was positioned differently, Cassidy was able to do this like thing that looks like he's using gravity and mass, and he ends up flinging the guy who was swinging him around.
Right.
It's just,
of course.
Beautiful.
I would have been really happy if it was just 20 minutes of arm drags. So I would have no complaints if that's what it was. So everything else was just extra.
Oh, and OC kind of doing Dorada's rope jumpy thing, but in the most sloth, like, I'm doing it, and whatever.
And it was funny because he almost was acting like he wasn't sure of his feet on the ropes.
Right.
And we had just watched an older Beyond Wrestling match with OC and Chuck Taylor versus, I don't remember the tag team situation, but like, Orange Cassidy is tightrope walking the full length of the rope, like no problem.
He is not incapable.
There's no way he was in any way unsure of his footing,
But it's just it's a testament to how sort of mutual put each other over, mutual like homage-y this match was.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was one of those matches I was really looking forward to when I saw the C2 bracket, and it did not disappoint.
Yep.
Okay. Then we talked about Mercedes and Athena. They cut a promo together, but we kind of already. Is there anything from that promo?
Just that Athena seems 100% not 100% on board, but what else is new?
Those two are certainly right to doubt each other's motives. That's for sure. Following that promo, we had Jamie Hayter versus Isla Dawn, which was a good match. It could have been squashier than it was. I'm glad it wasn't, because it seemed like it was mostly setting up for like the post-bell nonsense with the Triangle of Madness and then Stat running in and all that. But
Isla gave a good showing.
She really
wasn't treated like a squash.
I really enjoy watching her.
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed her work in Ring of Honor. We've talked about this, but like I was really happy to see that she got a real match in, and she looked great.
Yep.
It was good.
And the Sisters of Sin came in.
Right, of course.
And caused trouble with Tekla. Tekla had an insane outfit on. And took off her belt to start whipping Hayter.
Yeah, I think I actually missed Tekla's run-in. I think I was looking away from the screen for a moment, and so I looked up and I was like, oh, Tekla's there too?
Yeah. And of course, then Statlander comes in to clean everything up and save the day.
Of course.
And
like
Hayter,
our cosmic killer hero she is.
Exactly. But Hayter, going, I think, to take Tekla out, inadvertently gives a Haterade to Statlander, who's just instantly out on the mat. Inadvertently.
And then Jamie goes, oops. Oopsie. Yeah.
Is this belt yours? I'm holding it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. She was holding up the belt, which doesn't bode well for you, Jamie.
Yeah, but I appreciate all of this because I'm looking forward to that match, and I like that Tekla is inserting herself because I'm ready for more later. So
yeah, I'm glad that they're at least setting up future challenges and like future. Like it's like a braid. They're creating a braid instead of just having it be like, for example, with Hangman, just like one challenger at a time, and then he puts down the challenger, and then who's the next challenger? You know, it's more interesting to know that there are other people waiting in the wings who are like worthy challengers for the title.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm glad that they're taking some care, it seems, to do that on the women's division. That makes me happy.
Yep.
And the main event of the 3-hour Holiday Bash was the Tag Team Championship match between FTR and the Bang Bang Gang.
Which, for me, I mean, was pretty astounding. Bang Bang Gang was really...
It was a great match.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Bang Bang Gang to win.
No.
But I bite.
Yeah.
It was a good match.
It was basically, of the 3 hours, ruling out promos, match-wise, possibly the most upsetting thing. And what an interesting thing to end on such an upsetting note.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit more fun upsetting, at least.
Fuckery and shenanigans.
Fuckery and shenanigans.
And if there was some confusion about this on Blue Sky, if you didn't look that closely and you're not sure how Dax's foot got on the rope, please go back and watch it a little more closely, because Cash put his foot on the rope.
That rat bastard.
That rat weasel fuck.
What a fuck. I mean, the FTR, sometimes I'm just like, oh God, do we still have FTR around? But they're pretty satisfying.
FTR is great.
They're pretty satisfying
FTR
at
is
being
great.
heels, I will say.
I
enjoy hating them.
I don't always love like what they're doing with the storyline. Like, for example, I'm not super keen for whatever they're going to be doing with Cage and Cope, which we know is somewhere down the pipe.
Yeah.
But that's not really FTR's fault.
Yeah. But like for matches that make you bite over and over, and then the person that you're kind of maybe hoping will win and don't expect to win does lose, this really pushed the line on that. So it was like, you know...
It was like, God damn it, Paul Turner.
They did win. Come on.
Speaking of Paul Turner, this is not a spoiler at all because it's not going to make it on television. But last night, before the Dynamite on 34th Street, before they started recording the first like Ring of Honor match of the night, the pre-show stuff, he was the first official who was in the ring.
Yeah.
So as they were kind of coming out and introducing everybody and like trying to hype up the crowd, it's Paul Turner there in the ring.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the New York City crowd booed the fuck out of him. And he was just like, what? And it's like, me? Well, I don't know, Paul Turner. Maybe you shouldn't have been such a fucking heat sponge for the past like couple months.
He's been taking it.
He's been there when all the shit goes down.
Yep.
And I know sometimes that's Bryce too, but like Bryce is always there for shenanigans. But I feel like Paul has really been there for a lot of this like really ugly stuff lately, including Cash Wheeler putting Dax Harwood's foot on the rope.
Yeah, and not seeing it.
Yeah.
And counting. Yeah.
Ugh. Gross.
But I do want to say the joy of Juice and Austin, the joy of the Bang Bang Gang. I do, I love them. I'm like, I hope they do win at some point.
I hope so too.
I
hope so too. And I really look forward also to seeing that faction be replenished.
Filled out again. Yeah.
Let's, I'll really enjoy when the injured reserve comes back.
Yeah.
So that was just the 3-hour Dynamite plus the first hour of Collision that aired on Wednesday. And then Saturday afternoon, we got the final hour.
A special little extra hour of Collision.
Yes. And unfortunately, I know like the Triller gang has had a hell of a time trying to watch this hour of Collision. I hope they resolved it by now.
I hope so.
It's like, I wish they would put more care into this product because it's the only way a lot of people can watch it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a big bulk of what income they have, what revenue they get. But
we are lucky to have more than one choice. We have cats running around the house right now, so if you hear random chaotic noises, it's the cats. But we are blessed, we get HBO Max. It's like bundled with our cell phone, so we didn't have to cancel it when all the fucking ads and stuff happened. We just added Triller and a VPN, so we can go either way. And I've gotten so used to watching without commercials that it really is like pulling teeth to have to watch it again on HBO Max. Horrible. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that Triller doesn't function very well.
Yep.
Anyway, so the final hour of Collision, we had Speedball Mike Bailey versus Jack Perry, another delightful C2 match.
Yep.
So I didn't take notes. I know that Speedball loses because Jack bites his toes.
It's true. Well, this match opened with Bailey pointing at Jack's boots. And looking. I think there was some confusion about what he was kind of doing.
It looked to me like Speedball was showing concern,
right?
About
and I think there's a thing where Jack's
potentially injured ankle,
right?
But then I think Excalibur was saying it looks like he's checking to make sure they're regulation boots, and it's like I don't think so.
I think you're right. I think it was playing up for the ankle injury. I saw somebody online being like, "Is he's looking for if he's got a knife in there? When does Jack have a knife in his boot?"
He would wear it on his belt,
right?
Yeah,
he sticks it in cash that he leaves for the Young Bucks. He doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't had like secret ankle knives as yet. I'm ready for it if he wants to.
Yeah. But I kind of liked the synergy of Speedball being concerned about Jack's feet with his boots on, and then Jack winning the match by biting Speedball's bare feet
that's
later.
actually a really nice
fun little thing.
Full circle there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're concerned about my feet? I'm going to bite your feet.
Yeah.
I was really hoping Speedy would kind of go all the way and really like dominate the league.
That would be fun. Maybe next year.
So we already talked about Eddie Kingston versus Nathan Cruz and the interference from the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Yeah, whatever that's about.
So I think we said all we need to say about that. Following that, we had the RevPro Undisputed British Women's Championship match, Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor, who was, I think, a surprise announcement there. It was like an open challenge.
Yeah, I think the Triller, the Triller...
Wow. Okay, cats.
I think the Triller synopsis of what was going to be in the episode spoiled us on that, but it was billed as an open challenge.
Oh, that's exactly what happened.
And the other thing that was like everybody knew, it was like temperamental Eddie Kingston against somebody, and we're like, well, we already knew about that.
It left it open, like who was going to answer Eddie Kingston's open challenge when that was the match card, like the render was there.
Yeah.
And then it spoiled that Alex Windsor was the one who answered Mercedes' open challenge. And then it called Eddie Kingston like overly temperamental. And I'm like, is he overly temperamental or is he just from Yonkers? Come on. This was a great match. Mercedes looked insane.
She looked insane.
I don't know what this outfit was. It was incredible.
She had those big pink floofy poofies on her like shins, on her legs, which looked like it made graps hard, but
yeah, I mean, she can do anything she wants. Her gear is always crazy, and I love it.
No, it was great. Windsor doing her Pokemon.
Yeah, and I was not expecting this title to change not on RevPro.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people feel different feelings about that. It's kind of, with these kind of inter-promotional titles, it feels a bit damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah,
because it's like, if you're on AEW television, you've got so many eyes on it, and like that's good for everybody, but also being in the home of the, home promotion is good for the promotion. And also, like, did it have to be Alex Windsor? Should it have been somebody else who's like a little bit less known?
Right. I don't
in
even
the
know
US
enough
at
to know,
least.
But I defer to the fans of
Absolutely.
the
I don't know enough about RevPro to say, but
Yeah.
I know that there were a couple other people like Kanji and Rio that would have been good contenders for this particular match. So we'll see what happens. It sounds like Mercedes was like already tweeting about how she was mad because she put out an open challenge for a local, and Alex Windsor's not from Manchester. So
I mean, that's good.
Maybe she's going to keep challenging for, like, maybe this story will continue.
Yeah.
I love the idea that she just never lets go of any of it.
I do like that. I mean, I'm happy with the way her story is progressing. I would think it would be annoying if, she goes around to different promotions and wins the belts, and then like all the losses happen on AEW. That would be dumb. So I wouldn't expect, I would expect some of them to happen so that they can tell the story of her losing her belts. But
they could always,
they shouldn't do
they could always record it and share it on AEW
which
television.
They did for some of her wins. They would show a clip
Right. So it's complicated, but overall, enjoyed the match.
Yeah, and I do like Mercedes being a ham and going all in on just her face, and just every she loses. It's
the biggest ham.
It is satisfying.
The biggest ham. And Alex's kiddo was the sweetest. Like that moment was so cute.
That was cute.
Precious. And then we ended our little extra hour of Collision with the craziest match of the entire week, which was Kazuchika Okada versus Kevin Knight for the C2. Damn, Kevin, you are a star.
He is really great. Yeah. I mean, and Okada was definitely putting him over, and even with but doing it with his ego as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I appreciated that they...
If you hear weird trilling, that is also a cat.
That's a triller that works. And his name is Malcolm Tucker.
His name is Malcolm
because
Tucker.
he talks a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Some people will get that.
Some people will understand why we named him that. And he wears a suit. He's a tux.
He does. He's a tuxedo.
So anyway, this match I was very excited about and really met and exceeded all my expectations. Yeah. I love that they were playful with each other.
They were razzing each other with wrestling.
Yes.
Like
the middle fingers, like it was great. It was
sort of robbing each other of moves, but then getting the moves. Like just kind of, they looked like they were having so much fun.
And I was really hoping Kevin would win.
Yeah.
Based on his performance thus far in the C2. And like, it seemed like a hope beyond possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that shocking win and the way they all played it in the ring,
it was
too.
So good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that Okada has allowed himself to get pinned a few times, since we've started watching. And each time it's felt really special and really fun and really shocking.
Shocking and like earned by the wrestler.
Worthy. It feels like he's putting over like real stars.
And one aside, this is the first time I had this thought while we're doing comparisons between wrestlers and sort of thematics like we with Orange and Mox. I had a thought during this match about how Okada, part of his sort of like presentation and character in AEW, his like, I'm so good, I'm kind of bored ego has shades of Orange Cassidy's character a little bit, but with a lot of like ego edge to it.
Yeah, it has that kind of lazy, sort of like laziness, but also economy of movement.
Yeah.
Not just lazy, but like, I don't do what I don't have to do.
Yeah. There's something where OC is like, I don't want to be here. Okada's a little like, why do I have to be here?
Why do I have to be here with these inferiors?
You should just give me the win already. You know?
Yeah. So there is like a little bit of an echo there.
Yeah.
Which is really pleasurable. So yeah, that rounded out the week in AEW. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Just the thought that this really gives me questions about where the storyline with Okada is going.
Yeah.
If he is Don's special little prize and Don is holding on to Okada and wants him to play with
and not
Takeshita,
though? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I know there's questions about which one would leave if one of them's going to leave. And I can see looking at Okada being like, well, now you're losing a bunch. But at the same time, how much is Don going to forgive? Because
there's still a lot of unfolding to happen before anybody is leaving the Don Callis family.
There is, absolutely. It just makes me wonder what, it opens up the storylines.
And I don't even think that's necessarily going to be decided by the end of this year, or even by like Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think they may continue to drag it out. And I think waiting till after Wrestle Kingdom is also a good idea. I know they're not wrestling each other at Wrestle Kingdom, but it will kind of add to the mystique that, these two champions are kind of building a resume against each other.
Right.
So to have them fall out and have the huge blow up in AEW before Wrestle Kingdom feels like less
jumping the gun.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's a lot more left to get out of this story. It's very fertile ground, so let's enjoy it.
A lot of meat on them bones.
Yeah, a lot of meat.
All right, so that was that. What are we looking forward to?
Well, Christmas is going to be Christmas.
Yes, we're all looking at the card for Dynamite on 34th Street and Christmas Collision. Just looking at that card, what a fucking feast. Yeah,
I mean, everything that's left in C2 is really exciting.
I looked at all of the matches on the cards and I was like, oh my God, we get to see that? We get to see that?
Yeah, and excited to see, as we said, Ricochet versus Bandito.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think I'm the most excited looking at the card.
Yep.
But you can't go wrong. I'm really looking forward to being able to share our experiences this weekend with all of you and to hear how everybody else reacts to everything. And also just to watch the broadcasts because it's such a different experience from being there live.
Yeah.
And there's usually like additional stuff and also the commentary. Like that's one thing you really miss out on when you see a show live.
And it's really special to be there having your own reaction to a show, but it's also like I have come to enjoy. As I said earlier, maybe I won't be trawling Blue Sky during the shows, but I've really come to enjoy seeing how other fans reacted to what we've watched. And it's kind of funny to have to like wait now to see what other people thought.
Yeah, we're waiting with bated breath, but it was a really enjoyable weekend. And we're really feasting with this match card.
Yep.
So that's it. No bean this week. This has been a weird week. It's been a weird couple of weeks. Maybe I'll cook a bean next week. We'll see. So this has been another episode of Chatter Machine.
Hooray.
Thank you so much for joining us. Find us on Blue Sky and Instagram at Chatter Machine. Please subscribe, give us a glowing review wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Thank you, as always, to Sasha Enda for the theme music. For details on that, please check out the show notes.
If you don't give us a glowing review, I'm wrapping some barbed wire around a bat as we speak.
Watch out.
Watch out.
You better watch your ass. But seriously, thank you so much for listening. We wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and that you are surrounded with joy and warmth through the new year wherever you are.
Absolutely. Happy holidays, friends.